Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. It's National Treat Yourself Day, Tony. Have you treated yourself to anything today?
I'm Tony Kornheiser. The new pair of Spanx. Got them.
What? Your judgment, man. Your judgment is not, it's not good right now.
Yeah, no, I don't actually have Spanx. In fact, with the amount of weight that I've lost, I don't really need anything to keep me slimmer. So, what I'd like to treat myself to, what I'd like to treat myself to is a pint of coffee ice cream. I mean, that would be smarter for me at the moment.
There you go.
Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Rays are rolling, the Saints sneak by, and we've got some Tuesday night football. But we begin today with news that Clayton Kershaw will not pitch for the Dodgers tonight because of back spasms. Tony Gonzalez will start instead. Last night, the Atlanta Braves took a 1-0 lead in this series, courtesy of Blake Trinan's disastrous ninth inning. It was 1-1 going in and 5-1 coming out. Wilbon with their ninth inning struggles last night, and now Kershaw scratched. Is the Dodgers' season all of a sudden on the brink?
Tony, I hate to get carried away after one game, even after a dramatic inning concludes one game. But the Dodgers, look, the pressure's on the Dodgers. The Dodgers are the team that has come into this weird postseason, out of this weird 60-game regular season, as the team to beat. It's supposed to be their time. And yet they don't have Kershaw. They go against Tony Gonzalez. And so, with Tony Gonzalez. And the Braves have lit up right-handed pitching, Tony, which is what Tony Gonzalez is. So the Braves have hit 273 with 86 of their 123 home runs, coming against right-handed pitching. And that's why you really want Kershaw in there to sort of calm the waters for his own team and suppress the Braves, and now the Dodgers don't have that.
So I watch the Braves a lot because of the NL East, because the Nats play the Braves all the time. And as I told you a couple of weeks ago, I think the Braves are really good. I think that Freeman and Acuna Jr. and Ozuna, I think they're tremendous hitters.
Yeah.
At the moment, their ERA, their team ERA in the playoffs, where they have not lost a game, is 0.93. So anybody playing them is in trouble. Something happened last night. I've seen Trinan do this. I've seen Trinan walk out to the mound and the other team win very many times with the Nats. Then he rehabilitated in Oakland and he was really good. But in that ninth inning, four guys, Austin Riley, Acuna Jr., Ozuna, and Ozzie Albies, all had hits on 0-2 counts, Mike. Relievers have to close it out. They've got to close it out. You can't let that happen on an 0-2 count. So even though it's game one, I worry a little bit.
Ago, you were bullish on the Dodgers 48 hours ago, huh?
Look, I think they got the best team, Mike. But as you point out, they've got a monkey on their backs. Because year after year after year, they don't get as far as you think they're going to get in the playoffs.
That's right.
They don't.
That's right, Tony. And it's been 32
Still like
years.
Them,
though. All right. The Rays are halfway home in the American League Championship Series. Jose Altuve's throwing error, the first of two, opened the door for Manny Margot to hit a 3-run homer 2 pitches later in a game Tampa Bay went on to win 4-2. Margot also made a sensational leaping catch down the right field line later in the game. Tone, which moment was better in your mind?
So for me, it was the catch, because he dropped down a mine shaft on his head. It was an unbelievably great catch. But he was asked after the game which was the better thing, and he said the home run, because the home run didn't hurt. Look, you're mentioning Altuve. He's a great player. I honestly think the first baseman should have made that play, and he sort of stumbled around a little bit. But it's on Altuve. It opens the door, and then Margot hits the home run, and Houston loses the game.
Yeah, Tony, the catch was more entertaining, but the home run was more impactful. I mean, the home run was the thing that put Tampa over in my mind. The catch was a scream-out-loud moment, but I'm going with the home run. But you know what, Tony, is interesting about this series so far is that the Astros have been just smacking the ball. I mean, you look at Bregman, who has nothing to show for it. Apparently, if you're watching a lot of MLB Network, as I have been, there's all this talk about the number of balls he's hit that have rocketed off his bat at more than 100 miles an hour, and he has nothing to show for it. And some of that is just baseball luck. The phrase, hit them where they ain't. The Astros have not been able to do that, even though it's not like they've been out there and they've been anemic, at the bat, like my team, the Cubs, was when they went out. So I'm thinking that the Astros have still got a little something left in them. Dusty Baker alluded to it. He seemed unfazed.
Let me go through that ninth inning, because that ninth inning was really exciting. So Tampa brings in Nick Anderson. Nobody else is even warming up. He's going to close this thing out. He goes single, single, single. You go, whoa, and nobody's warming up. Then he gets a double play on Springer on a really hard hit ball. Yeah. 1 run score. So now it's just man on third, 2 out. You figure they're safe. He walks the next 2 guys on 8 pitches, bringing up Bregman, who I think did the right thing in swinging at the first pitch, because he's got to come across with a strike. And, Mike, I thought that was going to the gap and it was going to score 2 runs. I did. But it was caught.
It didn't. Yet it didn't.
No, it actually didn't. But it looked like it was. We move now to football, and last night's overtime win by the Saints after coming from 17 points down in the first half. Now, 17 in football may not seem like a lot, but Drew Brees had been 1-48 in games when his team trailed by at least 17. Brees had 1 touchdown passing and 1 running. The Chargers rookie quarterback, Justin Herbert, had 4 touchdowns passing and seems to have the wow factor. Wilbon, who impressed you more, Brees or Herbert?
Herbert did. And yet, we know that those things, don't tell the whole story. And so Herbert did. And his day's coming, but it ain't now. I mean, that team needs to get better. He's going to still need some seasoning. He's going to make some mistakes. But I told you, Tony, you and I agreed, because we talked to each other while we were watching this kid in his debut, and we're going, whoa, he looks poised. He looks in control. Yeah. He looks at all those things. And, Tony, I got to tell you, I pushed back hard. I didn't want to believe any of the people who went to crazy land after game 1 and 2 when they talked about what Drew Brees couldn't do. I did not want to follow them to crazy land with these proclamations. And yet, Tone, last night I was sitting there going, Drew Brees, man, we got a little larger sample size. He does not look great. He does not look like Drew Brees in his prime anymore.
So to me, the answer to the question is who impressed me more is Brees, because he won the game. Herbert looked great. Herbert, by the way, is now 0-4. 3 of his starts, he's a rookie. 3 of his starts are against former Super Bowl MVPs, Brees, Mahomes, and Brady, which is a tough way to break in. But I will say this, the Chargers kicker misses an extra point and doinks a field goal, or Brees is 1-49, and we're not even having this conversation.
Yeah.
And the Chargers, this is terrible. It's terrible. They've lost 4 games this year by a total of 18 points. They have 15 losses in 2 seasons and 13 by 1 score. That's how you get a coach fired, Mike. That's how you get a coach fired, when you lose that many games close.
You mentioned Brees, and you're more impressed with Brees. I'm a little surprised because, and I love Brees, and I sort of feel like,
I thought he made the throws he had to.
Tony,
I did.
But Taysom Hill made the play that had to be made for the Saints to win that game. I mean, that Wildcat play by whatever name.
You're right.
And then look, all credit to Sean Payton and all credit to that staff for having him ready and to the executives for keeping him and re-signing him, all of that stuff. But it's not like Brees is out there now going, what he used to do, 38 for 46 for 500 yards. It doesn't seem to be in him right now, and I hope I'm wrong, because I want everybody who downed him, doubted him, hated on him the first 2 games to be wrong too.
He doesn't have Michael Thomas. First Thomas got hurt. He's the best receiver in the league.
That's a big point.
And then he got suspended for something breaking team rules. So if he's got him, it's different. Let's take a break. Coming up, the Bills and Titans take the field tonight. Who has the edge in this battle of unbeatens?
And the Lakers are champs, but is Miami more likely to make it back to the finals next season?
I guess I'm reluctant to say that Brees is done. Brees and Brady done in the same year would make me upset.
I don't want that to happen.
It's time for Toss Up, where I play the role of Mississippi State in week 1, and Mike plays the role of Mississippi State in week 3. Good job, 2 points. What's first?
Toss Up, who you got tonight, the Bills or the Titans?
So I see where the Bills are a 3.5-point favorite on the road, and Vegas is probably thinking what I'm thinking, that I don't know, with all this coronavirus stuff going around, have the Titans had enough practice? Have they been oriented to playing football? Are they mentally and physically prepared to play this game? I think that all works against them, even at home. So I'm going to take the Bills tonight.
And for the exact same reason, Tony, I'm taking the Bills as well. Plus, let's give the Bills a little golf clap. I mean, the Bills have played really well this season. Their quarterback is in that conversation with the other quarterbacks like Rodgers and Wilson and whoever else about, MVP. But, Tony, all the Titans have done recently is manage COVID. And that's understandable. Yeah. That's the first order of the day. That's what they've had to do. But we don't know, particularly physically, ready to play football, the most physical of the team sports of all of them. There's no way I'm taking the Titans. If they win this game tonight, that would be really impressive to me if the Titans win.
That's how I feel, too, and I like it because it's two unbeaten teams, so I want to watch it. But I just feel they may not be ready to actually play football. Next.
Toss-up more likely to make it back to the finals next season, the Lakers or the Heat?
So Miami is in the easier conference. They have to worry about Philadelphia and Milwaukee and Boston and Toronto, and it just seems to me like they've beaten all those teams, and maybe they have to worry about Brooklyn when Durant is there. But I think they're a really good team with a really good coach. The Lakers have two great players and 10 guys named Bill, as far as I'm concerned. And I think LeBron might actually take next year off just to breathe a little bit after this sprint to win the whole thing. And I like Dallas. I like Denver. I really like Golden State coming back. I think it's going to be harder for the Lakers than for Miami.
They got LeBron. They got LeBron, who doesn't show signs of slowing down. We knew he's in control of the game mentally and emotionally. He's still in control of the game physically. And despite this preposterous position he's taking that he doesn't get enough respect, let's just stop. LeBron, you're too great. You're the best player out there. Since Jordan, or at least since Kobe, you're in a small group. Stop with the people don't respect you. People admire you, and they should. They love you. The league without LeBron right now is, oh, my God, I don't want to see that. It's like the league after Russell and the league after Chamberlain and the league after Jordan. No, LeBron. And so Miami, I love what Miami's got, Tony. They can add to it, and I think they can get back there. But the answer is the Lakers because of LeBron.
Thank you for saying that about LeBron. I feel the same way. What do you mean you don't get respect?
What are you talking about?
I mean, really, what are you talking about?
Don't set up a straw man. Bathe in it.
Next.
Last one, toss-up. Who's the men's tennis GOAT? Roger Federer or Rafael Nadal?
I'm going to the glasses for this. The head-to-head right now is 24-16 Nadal, but that includes 14-2 on clay. You take that out, it's 14-10 Federer. Now, you can't take it out because it's one of the surfaces that's out there, but it's 13 championships in Paris. It's 13. I just think that Federer is better on grass. I think Federer is better on hard court. To me, it's Federer by a small margin over Nadal. And then there's Borg and Sampras, and above them all, and nobody remembers, is Rod Laver above them all.
Yeah, Borg can't go above Sampras because Borg didn't win the U.S. Open, and he walked out into a parking lot and said, see you, when he was like 25. So Borg is disqualified from this conversation for me, and I loved watching him. Tony, I can make the argument either way, and I can push back on you either way. And you made a good argument for Federer. I would make that argument for Federer, too. And I can make the one for Nadal that says, I'm sorry, don't give me surfaces. Don't give me surfaces. Because how many does he have at Wimbledon? Don't tell me surfaces. I've owned him. My head-to-head record, head-to-head. That's what we call tiebreakers in other sports. Well, in this sport, Nadal owns him. And you can't be the GOAT if one of your peers owns you head-to-head. So that's the argument I would make for Nadal and the pushback on Federer. Tony, this is really hard. I don't know. Luckily, we have some more time to go with these guys playing.
I think it's Federer. I understand what you're saying about Nadal, but again, it's the surface. Like in football, they're all 100 yards. In basketball, it's all hard court. In tennis, it's different surfaces, so you have to factor it in. That's it. Put another win on my Wikipedia page. I hope I don't have a Wikipedia page. I don't want that.
Yeah, you do.
Let's take one last break. Still to come, could this really be Matt Ryan's last season with the Falcons? Really?
And the Rockets,
really?
That will be the Houston Rockets, are reportedly close to hiring a new head coach.
So you have Federer by a little, right? You have Federer.
No, I have Nadal by a little.
What about Sampras? What about Sampras?
Sampras.
You know
What about Djokovic? Djokovic can pass both of them.
No,
what do you
not
mean?
him. No.
Huh?
No.
What?
No.
And the Interruption is presented by Samuel Adams from Boston with Love. Savor the flavor responsibly. Part of Happy Hour.
Happy time, people. Happy 59th birthday, Glenn Rivers. Yes, everybody knows him as Doc, but there's only one doctor in Philadelphia, Dr. Julius Irving. So if Doc Rivers is going to go by that name, he better do what Dr. J did, win a championship. Doc didn't waste any time getting a new coaching job after Steve Ballmer decided to take the Clippers in a different direction. Within days, Doc took the vacant chair in Philadelphia and inherited a lot of talent in Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid and a lot of tension between them. And Doc has been around this block a time or two after coaching 21 years and having 17 winning seasons. He won a championship in Boston with big egos like Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Rajon Rondo. At the Clippers, he dealt with Blake Griffin and Chris Paul, and then Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Doc has lost more playoff series up 3-1 than any NBA coach, but he also has a ring. So I'm betting on him, and I hope he takes us to Marion and Pine Valley, Wilbon.
Well, I'm certainly cheering for him, Tony. Look, Doc worked, survived, thrived, and won in a tough sports town, tough environment, Boston. This is one of the two that could be tougher in Philadelphia, but he's got those guys there, and I am betting like you and certainly rooting for Doc to get that mix working, and they got enough people there, it would seem to be a serious and better contender this year than they've been the last couple.
Happy anniversary, Derek Jeter. On this day, 19 years ago, the Yankees shortstop flipped the ball backhanded to nail Oakland's Jeremy Giambi at the plate and save a playoff win. Giambi was so confident, he didn't even slide. All Jorge Posada had to do was put the ball on Giambi's leg. It is Jeter's most famous defensive play. He made another spectacular defensive play, diving into the stands after catching a foul ball. Everybody's seen that one. Everybody's seen Jeter hit a home run on his 3,000th hit. Everybody's seen Jeter hit the Jeffrey Mayer home run. Jeter has these plays in his catalog because he's a legendary player. The Yankees have Ruth and Gehrig and DiMaggio and Mantle and Jeter. They are the best of the best. It's no accident that world championships followed these guys around. Jeter has 5 of them.
Tony, all true. But today is also the 60th anniversary of the most famous home run in World Series history, Bill Mazeroski in the 9th in Pittsburgh. And I saw film of it today, and it gives you goosebumps. I mean, there were just people out there running around the bases with him out of the stands. It was like Henry Aaron when he hit his 715th. It's such a great, 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 great moment in baseball history.
Happy trails to baseball for Billy Beane. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Beane's special purpose acquisition company, whatever that means, will be acquired by John Henry, who owns the Red Sox and has always been enamored of Beane. If that happens, Beane would leave the Oakland A's and help Henry with sports businesses other than baseball. Beane would not work for the Red Sox, but would turn his attention to European soccer, for which he has developed a passion in recent years. Henry owns the Liverpool team in the English Premier League. Beane became a godlike figure in baseball after Michael Lewis's book Moneyball celebrated Beane's analytical way of building a baseball team. And in his wake, all sorts of sports teams hired math and science nerds to acquire talent. Beane's gift was to do it without a large payroll. But Henry has said spending money doesn't bother him.
Tony, you know who also owns a little slice of that team? LeBron James. So if, Liverpool goes on a run, then LeBron can get more respect, even in a place where he's not in a uniform. But it's pretty cool. I mean, if you're LeBron, you own part of Liverpool, you can go and that's your team. It's pretty great.
If it's soccer, LeBron can say, respect, respect,
that's right.
Respect,
that's right.
Like the other guy did. One omission, the University of Florida suspended all football team activities due to positive COVID tests.
Wow.
Schedule
home
that's
versus
it.
LSU, but it can't be a surprise.
Sit down for a while, kids. We're not playing.
Yeah.
Let's go to the big finish.
The
Rockets will interview Jeff Van Gundy tomorrow, and Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN says Ty Lue is gaining steam for that role. Your thoughts?
probably very different guys in terms of approach, but certainly two guys you would want to have to coach your NBA team. I would. Falcons owner Arthur Blank says the team will have to see about Matt Ryan's future there. What do you read into that, Tony?
I read into that if they could get Trevor Lawrence, a Georgia native, they would get Trevor Lawrence. Other than that, maybe Arthur Blank thinks his right arm is as good as Matty Ice.
For Trevor.
Vikings coach Mike Zimmer, your boy, said he'll go for it again on 4th down the next time. In your face, Wilbon.
Yeah, he could just keep losing in whoever's face he wants to be. The New York Daily News reports that the Jets are reportedly trying to trade Le'Veon Bell. Does that make sense?
The Jets, they get it wrong. Everything, they paid this guy $1 billion. They just get it wrong. Last one, Bruce Arians says he has no problem with Tom Brady cussing out his linemen. In your face again, Wilbon.
Yeah, if I was one of those linemen, I would say, hey, Golden Boy Hall of Famer, well, you can figure out what down it is and you can cuss me out.
Out of time. Try and do better the next time, and I'm Tony Kornheiser.
I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, Knuckleheads. You can get the PTI podcast on the ESPN app or Apple Podcasts.
Greg Lecker, thank you. Shout out.